right, welcome in. Let's just dive right into this, shall we? Because, look, if you're tired of watching your pre-match bets absolutely go up in flames before the halftime whistle even blows, you are in exactly the right place. In this explainer, we're going to completely shift how you approach the football markets. We are throwing away the guesswork, the gut feelings, and those emotional bets. Instead, we're handing you a definitive, data-driven playbook to finally master live football betting. Okay, so here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to cover 6 key steps. First up, the in-play advantage. Then we'll break down the SHOG system, look at data gates and filters, explore alternative live tactics, talk about price discipline, and wrap it all up with the professional mindset.
All right, step 1, the in-play advantage, or basically why live trading totally beats pre-match guesswork.
So to understand why we actually need to pivot here, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room, putting your hard-earned money down before a single ball is even kicked. I mean, pre-match betting. It's essentially asking you to predict the future while blindfolded. You're trying to guess against totally unpredictable variables, right? Like a sudden downpour, an unexpected injury, a team arriving with heavy legs, or a manager just throwing a massive tactical curveball. But with in-play betting, you take the blindfold off. You're literally watching real-time momentum shifts, sustained pressure, and the actual flow of the game. Instead of just kind of crossing your fingers and hoping a team plays well, you actually wait for them to prove it. There's this quote from our source material that I absolutely love. It says, "Once the game starts, the numbers tell a live story. Momentum, pressure, fatigue, changes in tactics. You can see it all unfolding." And that hits the nail on the head. Live stats aren't just, boring numbers on a screen. They're your protective shield against unpredictable risks. They tell you exactly when a team is seriously knocking on the door, and, just as importantly, when a match is completely dead.
Moving right along to section 2, the SHOG system explained and how we capitalize on second-half goals.
Now, the real genius of this strategy is just how incredibly simple it is. SHOG. It literally stands for second half, one goal. It's a strictly data-gated trading model where we are looking for exactly one more goal to be scored in the second half. That's it. We aren't out here trying to predict wild 3-goal comebacks or guess the exact final score. We're just answering one super straightforward question. Based on the momentum we saw in the first half, is the ball going to hit the back of the net just one more time? So why does this actually work? Well, the answer is right in the math. Get this, 55 to 60% of all match goals are scored in the second half. That's a huge chunk, and it forms the mathematical bedrock of the whole SHOG system. If you think about it, it makes total sense. As the clock ticks down, players get tired, defensive mistakes start popping up, and teams that are losing are basically forced to abandon their defensive shape and just go for it. The game naturally opens up, and we're just positioning ourselves to take advantage of that reality. Take a look at how this creates a perfect little logic map for us. It totally compresses the probability. If the match is 0-0 at halftime, we're looking to back over 0.5 goals. If it's 1-0 or 0-1, we back over 1.5 goals. And if there are already 2 goals on the board, we just go for the next overline, like over 2.5. By isolating exactly one more goal, you don't even need a specific team to win. And honestly, you don't care who scores. You literally just need one single moment where pressure turns into a goal to secure a winning trade. All right, section 3, data gates and filters. This is all about separating those sterile matches from the ones with real attacking DNA. Listen, we never ever bet on a team's reputation. We only trade on hard evidence of attacking intent. So step 1 is our base qualification. At halftime, the match absolutely must have an expected goals, or XG, total of at least 1.0 or at least 4 shots on target. If the game doesn't hit those numbers, we stand down, period. But look closely at step 2, draw state protection. If the game is tied 0-0 or 1-1 at the half, managers tend to get cautious, right? They prioritize not losing over actually winning. The game can just stagnate. So to protect ourselves, we raise the bar. We demand an XG of 1.5 and at least 5 shots on target. We need undeniable, hard proof that the game is completely open before we risk a single penny. Now, hold on a second. Let me ask you a really critical question here. What do you do if you're watching an amazing, high-pressure game, the XG is totally off the charts, but there's a first-half red card? The answer is absolute. The system is immediately invalid. Do not enter the trade. Seriously, this is non-negotiable. A red card completely wrecks the tactical shape of a match. The team that's a man down is almost certainly going to park the bus and kill the tempo. It turns a beautiful, structured game into a totally chaotic outlier. And remember, professional traders predict structured patterns. We do not gamble on chaos. So to actually execute this, here are the essential in-play stats you need to be monitoring on your live apps to confirm those data gates are met. You want to track expected goals to see the quality of chances, shots on target for actual intent, dangerous attacks to gauge meaningful pressure, corner counts to get a feel for the tempo, and of course, overall possession. Look, if these metrics aren't literally screaming at you that a goal is coming, just keep your money in your pocket.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Section 4, Alternative Live Betting Tactics. We're looking at corners and high-value goal markets.
Let's check out the corner pressure play. This is another fantastic example of just waiting for the data to hand you value. Here's how it works. Step 1, wait for the 60th minute of a tied or really close match. Step 2, you're looking for immense pressure, specifically 6 to 7 existing corners and over 100 dangerous attacks. Step 3, because the pressure is building up so much, you can confidently back over 8.5 corners at really solid odds. The stats are practically begging you to take the trade. Now, I want to show you what a professional trader's timeline actually looks like on match day. Before kickoff, at 0 minutes, you do your pre-match form analysis. But here's the kicker. You only select a maximum of 2 games to follow. You literally cannot track 10 games properly. You're going to get totally overwhelmed. Then, around the 15-minute mark, you just sit back and observe. Watch the momentum, the shots, the possession. Finally, at 45 minutes, you consult your halftime data gates. Only then do you even consider entering the market. You can also use halftime to spot massive value in the over 1.5 goals market. Say you have a match featuring historically high-scoring teams priced at 1.36 or lower pre-match for goals. If they hit a temporary 0-0 stalemate at halftime, the live odds will naturally inflate. You can jump on the exact same bet for odds like 2.38. You're basically buying the exact same high-probability event, but now you're getting it at a massive discount just because the market is overreacting to a slow 45 minutes. Moving right into Section 5, Price Discipline and Value. This is the mathematical anchor of trading. 1.25. Let that number sink in. This is the absolute minimum odds threshold, your mathematical anchor for the SHOG system. Never, ever enter a trade below 1.25. Why? Well, because at odds like, say, 1.15, the implied probability is so incredibly high that you leave yourself zero margin for error. Just one bad cluster of games will completely wipe out your bankroll. But at 1.25, the market is implying an 80% probability. If our data gates mean our true win probability is actually closer to 85 or 88%, boom, we have finally found our long-term value margin. You really have to realize this fundamental truth about the markets. High or low live odds reflects the time remaining on the clock and the current score margin. They do not reflect the betting company's certainty of the final outcome. As time ticks away, the odds for a goal naturally inflate. Patient traders know this. They just wait for the clock to push the price up to their 1.25 floor, and then they strike. Finally, Section 6, the professional mindset. Why discipline has to be greater than emotion. We like to call this the trader's mandate. Consider this your new rulebook. First, never chase losses on an emotional whim. Just don't do it. Second, ignore team reputation. A big-name team means absolutely nothing if their live XG is sitting at 0. Third, you gotta accept mathematical variance. Football is a low-scoring sport, guys. You are gonna hit clusters where teams just can't finish to save their lives despite massive pressure. That doesn't mean the system is broken. Fourth, always respect that 1.25 price floor. And finally, set a dedicated bankroll and stick to it. A casual gambler bets on hope, but a professional trader executes a cold, calculating framework. All right, so we've broken down the data gates, the value anchors, and the strict rules that professionalize live football betting. You now have the actual blueprint to stop guessing and start reacting to reality. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought as you look toward the next kickoff. Will you continue gambling on hope, or are you finally ready to start trading on data?